All right, here I
I,
am. Sorry, guys.
perfect. Perfect. My granddaughter was 21 yesterday, Valerie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
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 Oh,
So now I know when your birthday is. It's going to be easy to remember because I had no clue.
oh,
But
that
yeah,
is
she
so
turned
cool.
21. My sweet Emma.
Her name's
Yes.
Emma.
If you're
Happy
watching, Emma,
birthday,
happy
Emma.
birthday, love.
Yes.
Yeah, happy 21st birthday. Wow, that's a
Yeah.
big one.
Yeah. I got her first drink, her first legal drink. I had a picture of it from dinner
Oh,
last night. It
oh,
looked delicious. It looked like a limoncello, but with a strip of rosemary in it, just a little bit.
oh, yeah.
I thought it
Yeah,
looked. I don't know what it was. It just kind of looked yellow,
they really make these drinks, you know,
fancy.
artistic. Yeah,
Yeah, fancy and delicious.
yeah.
So how is everybody? Oh, I'm also made a banner today because
We're getting here. We have time. Oh, yes, please chat with us.
yeah, we
Yes.
want the chat involved, if at
You
all
know,
possible. If y'all have anything to say about the subject matters, please do. This
Yes.
is all for entertainment and spiritual purposes only.
it's a
Exactly.
spiritual channel. And do you mind if I say on um, coming up, we're going to go over the 12 universal spiritual laws here with the Crone Zone. Diana and I are going to have a new moon ceremony tomorrow night at 8
Oh,
where
good.
we put the signs to the laws, to the 12 signs to the 12 laws.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to do that. And then Sun Psychic Jean and I are going to do a series, I think, of To the Laws. I think that's what we're going to do, To the Laws every show, because it is that important to
It is that
know.
important. And
Yes.
it's each one is a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
Right.
really.
So this is a good starter. It's kind of a
Yeah.
review.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Uh,
is.
okay, so let me
I
put it
love hanging with y'all and explaining this stuff because it isn't easy. It is like a rabbit hole. It's so simple, but it's not easy. That makes
no.
sense?
Our brains like to make things difficult anyway, don't they?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to read these out in case you're on a phone and you can't read them. The 12 uh,
And then we'll
universal
discuss
laws.
them later.
And then we're going to discuss each one by one. So the first one is the law of divine oneness, where everything is connected. The second is the law of vibration. Everything has a unique vibration. God, I can't read.
You want me
Vibrational
to do
frequency.
it?
You do it. Thank
Law of
you.
attraction. What is like unto itself is drawn.
Mm,
Law of correspondence. As above, so below.
mhm,
Law of action. Manifestation requires aligned action. Law of cause and effect. Every action has a consequence.
mm,
Number seven, law of compensation. We are rewarded for right action.
mm,
Eight, law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Energy is always moving and always changing. Law of reality. It's all,
Relativity.
that's right, it's all relative.
Law of relativity.
Right. 10, law of polarity. There are two sides to everything, at least in three dimensions.
mm.
Yeah.
Right, right.
10, law of rhythm. Nothing is permanent. Law 12, law of gender. Manifestation requires a balance of energies.
Thank you so much
Mm,
for reading that.
thank you.
You know,
Yeah.
One of us will.
so, what are the laws of the universe and how do they work? These 12 immutable principles are the basis of everything in the universe. They can act as guiding principles to help us raise our vibration and increase our intuitive understanding of the universe around us. Every universal law is one piece of the intricate puzzle that is the universe, and they are all connected to each other and work together. So I think that's really important to understand is
Yeah.
that they're
You
all
can't,
connected.
yeah, you can't skip a step.
No, and one leads to two, leads to three, leads to
Mm,
four. It's really how it works, or it seems. So they
yeah.
say.
So they say,
So they say. I'm that off of here. I can't see. I don't know what.
Just click on the
Nope.
outside.
Wait a minute. Sorry. Here.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so that's the first law. Can I say something that goes along with the first law? It's important. It goes along with every
You
law.
say whatever you want. Absolutely.
The law of divine oneness says that we're all connected. We're all from source. We're all love. And to know that everything that you see, hear, taste, anything is also connected to that. So
Exactly.
if you or me or any of us have had, we've lived here long enough, we've had a lot of programming to work under, and we
Yes.
were we were told like we weren't important, in a lot of cases. You got to focus on other people. You got to care about others. You got to. This is so important to get this part of the law, to understand that you are worthy, you are loved, you are a spark of the divine, and the rest of the laws will fall into place for you. But that statement goes along with all these laws. Because if we don't think we're worthy to think a higher thought or whatever it is, right? Or that's too much. I could never have that. Then we stunt our own growth.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And if you look at quantum physics, one of the basic principles is that everything,
Everything is connected.
everything is connected. Not
Mhm.
just people, not just plants, just rocks, not everything. Even what we consider empty space has connections through it.
Mhm.
That's right.
It's filled
So,
with plasma. It's not
Yeah.
even empty. It's a
yeah.
transparent, thick plasma
And
that
what
we
is
don't
that
even.
energy? What do you think that energy is? I'm convinced it's love, unconditional love, and unity consciousness. That vibration is what I think that matrix
We've
is.
always been told that unconditional love is the most important thing.
And that's the vibration. Unconditional love is the vibration of the universe.
And I got chills saying
So,
that.
is that not what that matrix is that holds everything together? That un, unconditional love.
And I
That's
think
my personal opinion.
and I think it's neat that the scientists have
Figured it out.
finally
Mhm.
come to agree with us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they'll say it's physics, right? But that's what I always say. This energy that's sitting all around us, that we're thinking in, we're speaking in, where we are being in, is communicating with us. We just
All
don't
the time.
Right.
know that.
And
So we're
24/7.
whatever
silent.
we think they know
Right.
because it affects them too.
Let me read
The,
the slide for people
the
that
whole thing.
can't see it. It's the law of divine oneness says that everything and everyone in the universe slash multiverse is connected. Every word we utter, every desire we have, and every choice we make on this earth and in the universe is intertwined and part of the collective consciousness. To make the most out of the law of oneness, ask yourself, what would love do? I think that's a beautiful way to put it.
Mhm.
That's what
Well,
I
and,
think.
and
Go ahead.
that's your answer for what the plasma is.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think so. Does anybody in the chat have anything to say about this first law? I think you guys all know and agree.
I mean,
Totally.
it
We're
is,
good with the law of divine oneness.
and it's very simple, but very difficult to
Yes.
understand and believe.
Yeah.
If you think of it as the circle,
Mhm.
once a circle is bonded together, right? There's no beginning, there's no end.
Mhm.
Right.
But where did it start? It started with that sacred geometry of a dot. What is
Sure.
a dot? A
That's
dot
right.
is a spot
It's spiral.
by which you connect two lines,
Mhm.
right? So here's my dot. And now the energy flowing around in a circle comes back to that dot.
It does.
And a completed
Mhm.
circle is sacred geometry, just as the dot itself is sacred geometry.
Mhm.
And once
Okay.
it's met itself again, it's complete. It's the Ouroboros.
Mm.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, and that's what we are. We are the dot, and we can make anything of our energy, thoughts, beliefs, feelings, actions. But we
And
have to remember that we are that spark of the divine at all times. Go ahead. Sorry.
Right.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
And this is a quote, but it was written by anonymous. It's been around so long nobody knows who said it, but I love Brian Froud, and he just happened to have mentioned it in a part I was reading in one of his books yesterday. And the quote is, "The lifting of a finger disturbs the farthest star."
Mm.
Oh,
And
wow.
so if you just think of that, what you program into this energy as you move it
Hmm.
is what is going to be your circumference.
Mm.
Makes sense.
And we are all love here. We all
Yeah.
we get
Another
it. We
question
do
about
get it.
vanishing point.
I don't know what you mean by vanishing point.
Yeah. What do you,
It's not coming up.
Vanishing point?
Here's a question. Amanda Carroll has a question on yours, but it's not showing up on
yes,
mine.
it is. It is. Vanishing point's on the bottom.
It's
At
Amanda
3:11.
Carroll. I think it's on yours. On yours, can you highlight it?
It's it
Lori
won't let me.
Spooner.
No,
It
I'm not
won't.
talking about that one. I've got it. It's up there.
Yeah.
Amanda
Wait.
Carroll has one, but I can't get to it.
Hold on. Let me
It's a
see.
term in drafting, she says.
So, vanishing point, if you are in a constant flow of energy, which we are, is there really a vanishing point? No, because you are always moving to get it on
Right.
your way to it. So, the vanishing point as a perspective for the artist is also often off the page.
Off the page. True.
Yes.
No,
True. That's
I'm
true.
an artist, and I have to pretend it's out there because this is
Yeah.
what I'm drawing in here. This is my center, whether I have it off the center of the page or not.
That's
So
what she says. It's moving too.
Yeah. And
oops.
and just because we don't see it doesn't mean it isn't. There actually isn't one there. We just can't see any further.
And when we get down to polarity, that will make even more sense.
Well, Laura Spooner is saying it's a term in drafting.
Hmm.
I get what you're trying to say.
But she's agreeing with Diana.
Yeah,
What I was
she's a
asking you to
great
look for,
artist.
Valerie, was Amanda Carroll's question.
I
I can see it's not coming up on my.
Well,
It's-
and plus that vanishing point, that is for the 3D, is in 3D.
3D.
That's right.
You know, this
And there's no
is
3D where.
right.
Where
We can
we're
apply
talking about.
this to our 3D life,
Yeah.
but it is so much more. And oh my gosh, ladies, you know, this is the first time we're doing this, and this is a deja vu right now for me. I have chills because I've had this conversation with you before in a parallel universe.
Oh,
Some
Lord. I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
The way
I've done-
things are
yeah.
going these days.
Exactly. Well, can you just read it out loud if you can't find
yeah, I
it?
don't see her.
Okay, let me read it out loud because I've got it on my phone. Amanda says, and
Let me-
also Jay's, she's just saying happy birthday. Amanda Carroll says, I conceive of oneness as our oneness with Source that we all share, which is unconditional love. Oh, we all agree with that, for sure.
Mhm.
And Jay says, hello, beautiful birthday, Queen Val, along with your other gorgeous ladies. Hi, Jay.
Aw.
Okay. Okay, you go to 2.
Now I got my phone. So, yeah, this is okay. Go
Let
ahead.
me read it first.
Yeah.
The law of vibration. Everything in the universe has a frequency and a vibration. Items of a similar vibration are attracted to each other. Our thoughts and emotions send out vibrations into the universe with a corresponding frequency. High-level vibrations naturally resonate and create similar vibrations, and the same goes for low-level vibrations. Elevate your vibration by cleaning your chakras. Clearing your chakras, meditating, doing yoga, etc. Manifest your desires by matching your vibration with that of what you want.
And that sounds so much like the quantum manifestation we were talking about yesterday.
Mhm. Yeah,
exactly.
I think a lot of these are under the same umbrella. Like, I'm sorry, the name of your show yesterday was Was what? Lady?
Quantum co-creation.
Creation.
I gotta
Quantum
watch
Quantum
it.
co-
Yeah.
So
manifesting quantum.
Mm.
vibration is many things, right? But where does it
Mhm.
start? Right now, what are we doing? We are moving the air with our breath. We are causing
With our words.
Mhm.
we are setting out a frequency that starts with this little vibration. Now it becomes a frequency, then it becomes a color, and now we're speaking light language, and then we end up speaking uh, a language that is just joyful and is this steady hum, correct?
As it moves out into the universe.
Right. And so it's if when we stay in positivity, what do we have? We have our guides pushing the air out of our chest to get positive words out. What
Yes.
happens when you get into the frustrations and anger? Now what do we have? Valerie, we have an obstacle, right?
Mhm.
And what happens with that sound when it hits an obstacle? It goes tone down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Boom. Yeah.
What do? You have to look around that,
Elevate it.
look beyond that, above it, below that. And, there we are with that vantage point. Where do you put your vantage point?
Mm.
And
Well,
then,
thank
Today, she said she watched that show yesterday twice. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, it is. It's our choice, right? It's our choice where we put that because it really does start from a thought or a belief, and then it comes down into us and whatever it is we're focusing on in that moment, and it starts to make this. Oh yeah, this is something I really am resonating with, or I'm really frustrated with, right? Or somewhere
Right.
in between. So we always gotta come back to that choice point. Come back to that
That
point.
means I have to drop down into my heart and quit thinking with my head when I
Yes.
get like that.
they're connected, right?
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
and
And feeling is part of it.
Yep.
Laurie, she's asking about affect an inanimate object. Well, yes, because
Your own vibration affect inanimate objects. I want to read it out loud because when I used to watch on my television, I could never see the chat. I didn't know how to turn the chat on the TV.
yeah,
So I could never see what people were saying.
yeah.
So, can your own vibration affect an inanimate object?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
because what isn't, even if it's an inanimate object, getting
There's no
back to what
thing.
we
Think
said
about
at
it.
the
There's no inanimate objects.
There
Everything's
isn't.
vibrating.
Exactly.
Everybody has a
alive.
vibration.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
There's
So yes,
It
you can affect it.
Mhm.
it absorbs or it reflects it, or it bounces it back at you. And what are you getting if it bounces back at you? Do you want negativity to be bounced back? It might be, you
Yeah.
might get upset about the flat tire, but oh my gosh, thank you. I've got a jack and I can figure this out.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
got a spare.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
so
And
it's
and that's a
changing your language so you can change the vibration.
Yeah.
and that's a good point. Bringing up the car. I know a lot of us name our cars, talk to our cars. I mean, right there,
Lucille.
that's an
My car's
inanimate
Lucille.
object, right? Sorry, what'd you say,
My
Priscilla?
car's name is Lucille.
See?
Not Lucille Ball, but the guitar, Lucille.
Oh,
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 I'm
very
Scooby
important.
Doo.
We do.
I have a Subaru, so I call her Scooby Doo.
Oh, I
Oh,
love that.
that's so cute.
And my golf cart's called Toodles.
Oh, see, see.
Yeah.
I
We
mean,
name it. We name
yeah,
everything.
yeah, and it responds. That
Yes.
I it's just fascinating to me to think. These things just come. Anything you pick up has some sort of vibration. It's not solid in the law of physics. Nothing is really solid.
That's right.
We
No,
we just slow
it's
down.
mineral. If it's a steel pair of tweezers, it's still a mineral. It started out as tin,
Something.
aluminum
Yeah.
alloys.
Whatever you name it.
But
Whatever.
it's still got a
Scrap iron.
vibration. It's probably a combination of things, but it's still got its own vibration.
Right.
Sure.
Watch Cash Peters. He's always testing things
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
are inanimate.
which brings us to that place where you start to scrutinize every little thing that's in there, and you begin to see all the microorganisms that make it up, from the bacteria and viruses that stick to the surface, let alone get trapped inside, being created. There is nothing really inanimate. It may not, and it's always moving.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's always moving.
It's always moving. It just moves so slow that at our level
We
of,
can't see it. Yeah,
of moving,
exactly.
we don't notice it because it's so slow.
Yeah.
But if you've ever seen old glass in a building that's more than 100 years old, or if you've ever seen like some of the apothecary jars from Egypt, the glass gets wavy because it starts to go in the direction that the heat is making it, when the heat from the sunshine warms up the top of the glass, and it starts to get wavy and curvy because it tempers itself, and that heat makes it move.
Wow. Well, I can tell you inanimate objects. One of the churches that we went to in Ireland, remember touching the walls?
Yeah.
Holy
Oh.
guacamole, the
Yeah.
energy that came off.
Oh, sure. There's stones and minerals absorbing every
The
song,
baptismal they had there.
It was the
any
baptismal.
prayer that was ever knelt down to,
Mhm.
any flagellation that went on.
Well, hopefully there was none of that.
Oh no, the monks were.
This is kind of
so in.
interesting. She says, I have a cut tin sun hanging in my bathroom. Several times this year, I've gotten up in the middle of the night and it's buzzing on the wall. And
Buzzing loud.
And then
has
she
to touch
says, buzzing loud, I have to touch it to make it stop.
Absolutely.
And
It
then,
picks up
its own vibration.
well, and especially this year, last couple years, the intensity of vibration and the energy that's coming onto the planet is, I mean, I'm buzzing.
How
all
many
the time.
M-class solar flares have we had?
Right.
By the way, our next show on Tuesday is going to be about solar flares and what they're doing to us.
Oh.
Well, and
And it's all good. It's all good. It's not bad.
y'all might think I'm crazy, but I hear the electricity in the walls, and
I've
I
heard
feel
it.
like I need an
Absolutely.
aluminum tinfoil hat, like a 1950s movie.
They're
coming to get me.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Anything else on law of vibration?
No.
Okay, here we go. The law of attraction. You receive what you attract with your thoughts, emotions, and actions. We attract the circumstances of the reality that we're living at the moment. We are magnets, and our experiences are manifestations of the energy that we give off, either consciously or subconsciously. Repeating positive affirmations daily lets the universe know our desires and keeps it positive. Just remember, if you're negative all the time,
That's what you're going to get.
You're going to get back nothing but
That's-
negativity.
And it's all part of quantum physics, too.
quantum physics, absolutely. What you
And-
put out
and-
there comes back.
Talking about those magnets, when you put two like poles against each other, what happens? They repel. They repel
They
until
repel.
one side flips over, and they get back into the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is a steady flow of energy, and that's what the poles are about. We were talking about this earlier when we were discussing oppositions.
Mhm.
To me, oppositions are not a negative thing. Oppositions are a good thing, because go ahead, right? Well, but it can apply to our lives as well, because if you have a big bucket with two handles and it's filled with water, can you carry it by yourself? No. But you got two handles. You need somebody on the opposite side to help you carry that.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So the law of attraction is with the magnets. We attract okay, so this is where, and this is like the big law, like everybody says, the law of attraction. It'll work as long as you're implementing the other 11 laws, and the main one being, you are a spark of the divine. Everything's connected. And if you can just always revert back to that if you struggle, because I struggle. I still have to remind
We all
myself.
struggle with it. No,
Yeah,
Mhm.
you know.
definitely.
Every
So
time we're on the road.
yeah, so when you want to attract something, you start thinking of it. You start making this dream. Um, have a go to uh, picture in your head that brings you immediate peace and love, and is something that you really want to hopefully magnify and bring into your world. But having that visual picture, like every time I would, so I had the most terrible thinking, and I would switch every thought I had to the exact opposite, and this is how I started using
That's
these
how you
laws.
start healing. That's how I
Yeah,
started healing
yeah,
too.
yeah. It was so, I couldn't believe how blocked and stuck I was, that I couldn't even think of a nice
And happy
scenario.
people piss me off.
Yeah, me too. Oh my god.
What's wrong with them?
And
Life sucks. How can they be that way?
oh my god,
Hello,
that is
Star.
so true. I hate to admit it, but that's how I was. I was
Well,
so
that repeating positive affirmations, that started for me. I really started to notice that that can work with the sticky note on the mirror. When
Mhm.
Oprah interviewed Eckhart Tolle, how many years ago?
100 years
Oh
ago.
God.
Mhm.
Yeah, it feels like it now.
Mhm.
Feels like it. That was one of my first book club books, was his
Yeah.
book.
Ah,
Yeah.
I loaned it to my son. He never gave it back.
Me and a bunch of friends read it together and talked about it together.
Oh, that's nice.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Wasn't my idea. It was somebody else's idea, but it was a great idea. We had fun doing it. Let's
I
just say
like.
hi to Starfish and Micah.
Oh
Welcome.
yeah.
We're
Hi, Michael.
all here today. We're going through the law of attraction. I mean, sorry, the 12 universal laws.
That's just one of them.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Yes.
And I like the bottom part of this. Repeating positive affirmations daily lets the universe know your desires. We have to ask.
We do.
Even though we have a whole team of guides, we have higher self angels and everything, they can't do anything without us
And
asking.
I agree that, but you also need to be grateful for what you
Right.
already have.
Yeah.
If you start out with being grateful for things and then use your positive affirmations, you're already positive and you've already
Yes.
raised your vibration.
Yep.
Right.
And that brings us to the law of correspondence. So before we move on, I want to check with you to see if we accidentally went over that and
Next.
skipped that one, or
It's
if
next.
it's farther down on your list.
Next.
It's next.
Oh, okay. Then I'm the one who.
Well, they're never
That's
like,
okay.
yeah, they're never like in a
No big deal.
We're very
Yeah.
informal here.
certain order.
Micah says, every thought is a dream. Lyrics of the song Fantasy by Earth and Wind and Fire. Oh, I love that.
Aw, I love that song. I haven't heard Earth, Wind, and Fire in so long.
Years.
I
Many
know.
years.
Yeah, they're
So,
my generation.
Mhm.
anything else on the law of attraction? Go ahead.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay.
Because they'll become so, they're so similar, but there's
They
these
really
subtle
are.
differences that we have to. It it it's good to make the point of, now this one, law of correspondence.
Oh, let me read. The
Yeah.
law of correspondence. Patterns repeat throughout the universe and on a personal level. Our reality is a mirror of whatever is happening inside of us at this moment.
Yeah.
Everything that happens in our physical reality is the result of our thought patterns.
Mm-hmm.
These patterns, whether positive or negative, can be passed down and repeated through generations in your family.
Yep.
We can take action to consciously break these patterns.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all doing. We're breaking the patterns of our childhood, from our parents, our grandparents, and God knows how many generations back.
Exactly.
Right.
We are the forerunners in breaking those kind of ancestral patterns,
That's right.
in my opinion.
Yeah. No,
Well, and it brings us always back to language, frequency, vibration.
Language,
You
Exactly.
know, I mean, frequency is the steady thump 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 thump, right? But frequency is also how often you hear it.
Mhm.
That's true.
That's true.
Mhm.
That's true.
And then you have resonance, what are you resonating with and what are you putting out? But in this law, it is about that whatever we do brings us right back to us. And,
That's
and this
right.
is
Whether it's positive or negative, it's coming
right. And,
back.
and this is the
Yep.
thing with these laws. They are so subtle. We do them all day long, whether we know it or not. And once you become aware of it, you're like, oh no, I didn't mean to ask for that
Exactly.
horrible experience. I want
I
this
know.
beautiful.
And sometimes in the third dimension, which is where we are, or some of us are, it takes a while. But in the quantum dimension, it's immediate.
Yeah.
Immediate.
Yep.
Immediate.
Yes,
Have you-
Laurie. We all wonder what patterns we're screwing our kids up with.
Mm.
Every parent does that, I'm sure.
I kind of asked that of myself, and I said, I wish I could do it over. I made so many mistakes, and I thought, no, I might
You
not make those mistakes. I'd make other mistakes.
just-
So
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know,
Well, I'm descendant of the last king of Poland. That's kind of like neither here nor there. However, what my grandmother always reminded me was, we might be paupers now, but that doesn't mean you can't act like a princess.
Mm.
And it didn't mean in a negative way.
Yeah.
She meant it to be, in integrity and understanding and gracious and
Yes.
grateful.
Yes.
Mhm.
Smart grandmother.
Yeah. I mean,
She
it
must have
is.
been lovely.
And I want to say something to Lori Spooner. Do you wonder the patterns you leave in your kids? We came here, and this is how many lifetimes have we come here, and we're in this body, in this form right now. But we knew on a soul level that we were coming into an upgrade, right? An ascension process. We didn't know
Mhm.
that. I didn't know that as Valerie until a few years ago. But I think that no matter what we did throughout that whole time period, if this is where we're at now, we are leading by example, right? You're showing, my kids
Yeah.
really, they don't not want to hear this, but they certainly don't want to sit around and have a conversation like we're having, about it.
Mhm.
And they'll get it
Well,
in their
not with us.
So it's just a matter of time, everybody comes to that, hey, there's something more here. There's
In their own
something more.
time and
Yeah.
when they're supposed to.
Right.
right,
I agree with that.
For sure.
exactly.
Whatever mistakes we made in the past, or whatever our lives were like before now, they made us who we are today. We wouldn't be here if we
Exactly.
hadn't been wherever it was we were before we got here.
And
Every day changes.
to Lori's last point is they have so much more to deal with, I think. Yeah, they do. But the other side of that is they were born with downloaded. They were advanced, a lot more advanced than when we were
Than
born.
we are. Their DNA is a lot more advanced.
Lot
They're,
different.
I agree.
And that's
I
why they can multitask the way they do, and they do the things that they do. I'm sorry, we were on love
I'm
cards.
just I'm looking forward to them getting old enough to vote.
Because they
The star
are going to
seeds.
vote their way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're trying to
Okay.
prevent that, but that's not going to work.
It's not going to happen.
Mm-mm.
Then we have the law of inspired action. This law asserts that to manifest thoughts and desires, you must take inspired action. Inspired actions are actions that are aligned with the things you are truly passionate about. The work should be challenging yet enjoyable, not a struggle that is met with frustration and anxiety. The universe is subtle. It's not always obvious, so use your intuition and try not to overthink it. Queen of overthinking.
Monkey minds. Yep.
I think I'm right there with you. Oh my gosh. And that is where everything originates.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, if your thoughts are not in alignment with the life you want to lead.
Yeah. That's true. If you're always thinking, "Oh, I'm poor, I can't afford this, I can't afford that," that's not what you want to do. You want to be grateful for whatever it is you do have.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. And that opens all the doors. I
It
love
really
that,
does.
Lori. She's
Yeah.
such a
That's
thing
beautiful, Lori. Have you had any other things with your daughter like that?
when I was the dad.
Because my daughter and I were very connected when she was
Mhm.
young, and I could just call her in my mind, and she would come in, or she could call me in her mind, and I would come. Or sometimes she would come in my room, and I hadn't said anything. I'd be, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "You called me," and I was like, and I was just thinking about something
Wow.
to do with her. That happened a lot when she was younger.
And my mom and I were very, very close.
Like
We
that?
could second
Oh
guess
yeah.
each other all the time.
Mhm.
And from what I've heard or what I've learned is that the last time around, I was the mom and she was the daughter.
Mm.
Interesting.
So,
And,
Uh,
and think
and
about how, I'm sorry, Dinah.
no,
Go ahead.
no, go.
Think about how many times we've had lifetimes with our soul family, and we
mhm.
come in and we go. Like this child obviously remembered she used to be the dad. And we had we had I don't know why our our memories are not there, but we are in the process of remembering.
We are remembering. That's the whole thing.
Mhm.
It's not that we're learning, it's that we're
It's that
remembering.
we're remembering.
That's the
Right. And so that brings me back to that quote that I started with at the beginning of the show. And it's, what's the thought in your finger as you lift it? What did you put there? Why did you do that? What was if it was a negative thought, what do you think is going to get out of it? And if this can disturb the farthest star, which we know it does, just because of quantum, it's always keep yourself in an intention where you are inspired by positivity.
Mhm.
yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Beautiful. So true.
And that goes with your actions too.
Mhm.
Because if you're thinking in an inspired way, that your heart's desires and dreams and caring for others or whatever it is, that inspires your action. Your
Mhm.
you know
Right.
I,
Or your
I,
reaction,
or your reaction, right?
right? Because sometimes we're on the other end.
Sometimes we
Mhm.
are. For
Yes.
sure.
Gratitude for everything.
Okay. Then we've got any more comments about this before I move on?
I don't think so.
The law of cause and effect,
Mm.
aka the karmic law. This law
Mm.
states that any action causes a reaction. Results may not be instantaneous, but essentially what you put out there will eventually come back to you. Be
Mhm.
aware of how your words and actions are affecting not just you, but everyone around you. Focus on dismissing negative energy, e.g., negative self talk, cultural and ancestral programming.
Mm.
Being kind and compassionate to yourself and others means you're more likely to receive kindness and compassion in return.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
absolutely true.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
I find myself leaving when they start when a group of people that I'm with start putting everything down, putting
Yeah.
their husbands down. That's all negative. If they seems to just grow and grow it, and
Mhm.
so I just
I have
leave.
to read one off my phone real quick because
Yeah, I
it's not
wonder why that is, because that does
it's somebody
inspire.
that's on
Oh,
your lead. It's actually Jay. She says, "My daughter and I call each other without speech and phones. My daughter was also my mom." Oh, I love that, Jay. That's very
mhm.
cool.
See, I don't have that. Okay, I don't know. I don't know where I'm at. Well, I'm at
Well,
Anyway,
I gave up.
I don't know.
So,
I don't know what's
it's that
going on.
self-sabotage also. How we can do this to ourselves. It's So if we're doing it to ourselves, we are ending up doing what? We're drawing that same kind of behavior and negative thought pattern
Thought
from
pattern.
others towards us.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
don't want
not,
to do that.
No.
Mhm.
yeah,
Lori says negativity affects her physically. Me
It
too.
does.
yeah,
Me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does everybody. Just
It
most people
does.
don't realize it.
Yeah. They don't realize because they're not being sensitive.
Mhm.
If they're not allowing themselves to feel the sensitivity, or they would know it's bothering them.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
so
lot
many
about
people.
mindfulness. I think
Yeah,
you have to think about what you're thinking.
Exactly.
and
Right.
Most people
sometimes,
don't think for anything, for
right.
anything at all.
right, and sometimes it is to take pause, and it is to enter the silence
Mhm.
completely, and to step back,
Yeah.
and to give your body a rest, give your mind a rest.
Hmm.
It's
That's why
really,
I love meditation, giving my
yeah,
mind a rest.
yeah.
Exactly.
It's really
Over,
unfortunate though to go into a group of people or have to be around people and then it just starts going down, spiraling down like Heather was saying. And you
Mhm.
can't, you know, I know I've caught myself going, well, you could look at it, in this more positive way, and people will look at you like, what is wrong with you? Let
I
me.
know, right?
And I'm
Well,
like, well, it's time to go.
right.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
hate to
So,
exactly.
be like that, but you have to. That's part of that's part of the 12 universal laws. Is also where's your boundaries. You can't just have this. Okay, it's all good. When someone is bringing you down or bringing the energy down in a room, you have to say, uh, "Okay, excuse me, but I'm going over this way." You don't even have to say that. Just do it.
Yeah, just move away, or and throw up a bubble of protection around yourself so you're not
No.
absorbing other people's energies. I think
Exactly.
we forget that we can do that. We just think about it and and you're doing it. That's all it takes. Use
Mm-hmm.
your
well, and
imagination.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's overindulgence that's self sabotage, but there is also overindulgence of what Valerie just said and what you were
Mhm.
talking about when we allow ourselves to be a doormat.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
Hmm.
overindulgence.
Well, see, when you're nice,
We're
people think you're a
codependent.
doormat. That's the
Yeah.
problem. When you're a nice person, a lot of times people think you're a doormat. So you have to have your boundaries. You have to
Exactly.
learn what is
Mm-hmm.
acceptable to you as a human for people around you to act
Yeah.
like and create boundaries
It's
I
because
that
thought,
pay,
nobody wants to be a doormat.
yeah.
right. It's pay it forward, but you pay it forward one deed at a time. You
Mhm.
don't, if you got $20, you can give it to an organization, but you're still only going to do one person at a time, paying one deed at a time. You can't overindulge doing that because now you've set yourself up to be the doormat.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that's true.
Well, this what I have here is like for every action, there's the equal and opposite reaction,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
we reap what we sow. This is for cause and effect. But I really like this. In order to benefit yourself and society as a whole, mankind should, I don't like the word should, but there we are, should use their free will choice to perform good deeds with the awareness that what they think, act, and speak about will affect the entire universe.
It does. It goes
Exactly.
right into that matrix energy out there of
It
Mhm.
unconditional love.
right. It does.
That's
Yes.
where it goes.
Yeah.
Right
Mhm.
out there, it's our collective consciousness that goes from just our planet all the way out to the galactic center and not beyond.
Yeah.
And if we're star seeds, that plasma is our embryonic fluid, if you will.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Inside on Merkaba.
Yeah, yeah. Wow.
I mean, these are the things we forgot. We came to this. We are here. We straddle the third dimension and higher all throughout the day. But
Yes.
we are remembering that we are so much more than this. And once you start implementing these concepts, they're not even concepts; they're laws. Really,
They
it's
are.
you. Your life is exponentially better.
Mhm.
If you can
Yeah.
stay consistent with yourself and consistent with your heart desires and preferences, and just being a nice, kind person, being in gratitude. I mean, it changes your entire. It changed me, changed my entire life.
That and
From
dropping the judgment.
And,
yeah,
and
Oh,
I agree with Lori Spooner. She says the internet, but I would take it a step further. I would say, even if nobody clicks on it, so they read it, it's making the effect.
it's out there.
It's out
The
there.
words are out there.
Yeah. So I
mhm,
would take it further than even the internet.
mhm.
Mm.
I was blessed. You know how you said to put a bubble? Because I put a bubble light around all of us before I start. I do that with my computer. I send love through the internet cord because
Cool.
That's
why not?
great.
I mean, why
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 not?
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 Who's to say it's
Exactly.
not helping? Because there's
It
so much negative. We can try to negate it. Go ahead. I'm sorry,
and
Pam.
and what no, what's flowing into it? Energy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it pick up your energy?
True.
Yeah.
True.
Why wouldn't it? It's amazing.
My
I
experience.
find is each one of these laws, you can see how they're so closely connected to each other that
Hmm.
they're
Exactly.
almost the same thing, but with just a little bit
Little
different.
different emphasis.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Right. Discrepancy. A
Yeah.
change in the discrepancy.
Hmm.
The law of compensation. This law states that we will be blessed according to the good deeds we perform and the value we provide. If the law of cause and effect makes sure that your thoughts and actions return to you, the law of compensation ensures the quantity and quality of those returns. Now that should scare the hell out of you. We reap what we sow. Compensation is not just monetary. You get out of life what you put into it. Be generous and kind, and then graciously accept it with open arms when it comes back to you. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I mean, it's
So
gorgeous.
Gratitude.
it's credentials, it's validation, it's reputation.
Mhm.
It's consider back before going to school was a normal thing. The blacksmith in the little town in Ireland got a reputation for being the best forger in the
Mhm.
area, and people would come from towns
You reap
around.
what you sow. You
Mhm.
Right.
good
Exactly.
product, then people want it.
Exactly.
And the word
Too
of
bad
mouth.
our corporations don't know that.
Right.
I
And
know.
it doesn't have to be a signed piece of paper. A credential can just be word of mouth because of the reputation you
Yes,
have built up.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah, it's even being here, being with each other, and oh my gosh, just saying thank you for having us here. Thank you
Yeah.
for
I
having
Well,
me
we're
agree.
here.
so thankful you're here.
Oh, thank you. And
We're
see,
thankful everybody's here today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're thankful to be on YouTube. I never
yeah,
thought I'd say that, but it's true.
yeah. I know, I never did either. I was like, why?
I've met so many beautiful people through YouTube. It's amazing.
Hmm.
And it was like we didn't even know we were missing each other. Well, I knew I wanted to know people like me, but
Yeah.
I just thought because of being told all my life, "Oh, you're crazy" or this. I just thought, well, maybe they're right. And then to meet everybody when I'm like, I knew there was more of us.
Yippee! The law of perpetual transmutation of energy. This
Oh,
law states that on an energetic level, everything in the universe is constantly evolving and changing. Amen to that. Every action is preceded by a thought, with thoughts themselves having the power to eventually manifest in our physical reality. If you look at what you have in life, you'll always have more. If you look at what you don't have in life, you'll never have enough. Do something every day that uplifts you, singing in the shower, dancing like nobody's watching, meditating, or expressing gratitude. Remember, small shifts add up to major results over time.
mm,
So
mm,
it's also part of the action when we have to take action
mhm.
to get a reaction.
Yeah, and
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 if
then,
we think
go ahead.
how many parasites are out there from not
What?
just well, I mean, think we say we bring back a Klingon with us when we go off on our little astral projections, right? But just parasites in general, negative attitude on the road of other drivers, let alone how they make you react or do change that language. They did not make me react that way. I reacted that way because,
Mm.
so I have to do that.
Yeah.
Everybody has to do that. We
Mhm.
get caught up in that traffic pattern.
Mhm.
But so it's the fear versus being fearless, right? And it's if you change the negativity into something positive, it's transmutation. That
Yes.
transmutation is also transformation, and it's a thorough change for transformation. And
Mhm.
then we go into the transfiguration, which is to have totally reconstructed the energy of the body so that you are in a healthier state completely. When Christ was transfigured, what happened? His body was gone and he became a spirit that ascended into heaven and comes back and forth and talks to all of us anytime he wants, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's always a metamorphosis.
Mhm.
That what is it called, Val? That Taurian loop.
Taurus field. Oh, the Taurus field. Yeah.
The Taurus.
So our Taurus field, right? It is what we think and believe, what we say. That's our energy field, our whole energy field. So
It's shaped like a Taurus, yes.
yeah, but you can clean that energy field. I had to clean out all that negative stuff, right? That was causing
Right.
me nothing but sorrow and pain and heartache and things like that because of was the way I was thinking. But you transform that into, you can't get rid of the bad feelings. Like, I guess that's really what the law is saying. You can't, you can't, how did Einstein put it? Um, you can't stop energy from, you can't start it or stop it. I can't remember how exactly he says it, but you can transform it. You can
Yes.
improve upon it. You can bring in, hey, that's a better thought, that's a higher, why can't I think like that? Why can't I have a good day? Why are my days always bad days? And
Right.
that's that transmutating the energy that's
It's
working.
Uh-huh.
right. It's mutate, formulate, figure eight,
Mhm.
infinity. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. That's so cool. I like that one. That one is one of my favorite ones because it.
Yeah.
I didn't
Nothing
know I
ever
was
stays
doing
the
this when it was going on. I had no idea that these laws existed when this was all going on with
Isn't
me
that the
personally.
truth? I had
same.
no idea about the
Uh-uh,
laws just a few years ago.
but we do them all day, every day. So it's really beneficial to you to be
To
mindful.
know and understand each one of them. It
Yeah.
absolutely is. So then we have the law of relativity. The law of relativity asserts that everything is neutral on its own. Every thought, action, word, or emotion is neither good nor bad until we give meaning to it.
Mm.
This law reminds us that experiences on their own are not good or bad, they are neutral. It is our human perception, emotion, thought, judgment that evaluates experiences, and the comparison of them is what creates labels of good and bad. Viewing a bad situation from another perspective may actually help transmute it into gratitude. Yeah, that
Mhm.
one was a tough one for me to figure
Mhm.
out in bad
Mm.
And yet
situations
it sounds very much like step back and look at it
from a
again.
different perspective. Yes.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like messy versus organized, right? There's a part
Mhm.
of me that is like, oh my God, this
But
house
and
looks
yet
like,
if you stand back, it may be organized for that particular person.
well,
Mhm.
and even for myself, because my kitchen can look like it's in the middle of a John Belushi movie, let me tell you.
Mhm.
But I actually like having a little bit of mess and chaos because it makes me think of where did I put it? What did I do with it? Keep track of it.
I
Because if
find it
it's too organized,
chaotic.
I don't find it because it's too organized. As long as
Mm.
I know where it is, it's like if you remember the old movie with W.C. Fields, The Bank Dick, and Mae West was in it, and he had that roll top desk, and anybody else who went to his desk to try to find something was lost, but he could pull out the exact piece of paper that
Mhm.
they needed
Right.
for the detective work they were on. He was a railroad cop.
Well, there's such a thing as organized chaos, right? And we all thrive in a certain,
Yeah. So for me,
Mhm.
it's relative.
yeah. So, I guess it's doing what it works best for you, for sure, because it is all
Absolutely.
neutral.
You just have to figure out what works for you.
Mhm.
It's going to be different for everybody.
Well,
Exactly.
and Valerie, you said earlier about inferior and superior, right? But it's neither of those. Wasn't that there in relativity?
Well, as soon
Inferior.
as you say superior or inferior, you've let judgment in.
Well,
Right.
this is, yeah, and this is what
Yeah.
this one line talks about. It's instead of, right, because that's the third dimensional being is going inferior, superior, but your divine being knows that there's no such thing as either.
Right.
Right.
So that,
Self-esteem
right,
or humility,
right.
right? As long as
Mhm.
there's no ego involved, that
Yeah,
makes them equal.
it says it, yeah. In truth, they are one and the same. So
Yeah.
being in that spirit, that's why it is so hard. I know I'm really hard on myself about judging things or judging people or scenarios, not so much people, but I had to say to, well, my guides had to teach me there is a difference between judgment and discernment, and it's fine.
Yes,
Oh,
It's very,
yes.
most
very fine.
definitely.
It's a fine line, isn't
Yeah.
it?
And because you don't want to be this judgmental person, but you have to discern to know what is for you or what is working with you and what is not, right? So it's at that neutral observer higher perspective where that
Right.
law really works best, I
Mhm.
think.
Okay, I'm going to take that one off.
Difference
I don't know what's
between
wrong with my comments on this, but
mine's not working at
I'm,
all either.
I'm
Yeah,
only getting
stopped.
Facebook comments on here, but on my phone I've got others. Let me read a couple, you guys.
Thank you.
Jay
Sure.
says, also be careful the company you keep. Their boomerang could come and slap you in the face. Karma by association. Boy, isn't that the truth?
That's
And
Mhm.
so
White Dragon says specifically to you, Diana, you've not experienced Miami drivers. Talking about road rage a little bit ago. And Jay says, organized chaos is my life. I kind of feel the
Oh,
same way,
yeah,
Jay.
Jay.
I kind of feel the
That's
same
why we
way.
have crossover dreams.
Well, that's cool. Okay, I
See,
think that's
and poor Linda D. Gonzalez, she's been accused of toxic positivity. Now,
What?
that's what I'm saying. Like, who would say that to somebody? And because we're trying, people
toxic positivity. That's a new one on me. That's hilarious.
people get so upset if you're trying to uplift them or
Uh-huh.
their energy, especially if they're not nowhere near that, right? They don't want.
Yeah.
But I understand, Linda, because I've been told the same thing a couple of times. Right.
Toxic.
In so many words.
That is too funny.
I
Oh,
know. I just, yeah. No, don't worry, Linda.
Yeah, no,
it is.
screw them.
Yeah. And it's okay. Back to the discernment and judgment thing, right?
Yeah.
I am going to be mean. I'm going to, I'm not always, oh, sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns, but I try to see the other person's point of view. I'm not always right. I'm not. None of us. Oh,
I just took it off because we weren't talking about that particular one, so we'll go back when it's time.
I was just like, hi,
But I
lady.
think it's really important to talk about that
Yes.
because you're right. Yeah,
It's,
this is
it's,
weird. I'm only getting Facebook comments.
I know. I'm not. Look, I'm on both channels. I keep flipping between
Well,
both
on my
channels.
phone, I can see the questions,
Even
but
On my phone, they stopped scrolling on my phone, period. I haven't gotten anything.
Have you
This,
stopped?
are these the solar
Emotion.
flares interfering with stuff right now?
It
You know,
may,
Because wasn't it supposed to hit today? There was one that was the magnetic
they've
At
been
least we
here.
have
wave
one
was
that's getting
supposed to
it.
be hitting
Yeah.
today.
the one from yesterday, the big ripped hole in the
I
sun. Yeah.
think this one was like 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They've been
Oh,
hitting every
And
day.
yeah,
that
they
was
have
the,
been coming every day,
yes, that was the
like
last.
more than one a day. it's, it's like
Well, the thing is with the video on the phone, you got to let the video continue to play.
right.
Turn it down, and this way the chat will keep going. But
Yeah,
even though,
I'm getting it on my phone. I'm just not getting anything but Facebook on
see,
my
I'm
computer, and I don't
No,
have any idea why.
my phone is not. Usually, my phone behaves correctly, and I can keep up with the chat with for y'all. But no, it's not doing it. It
Well,
just
as energy workers, Heather and I have always had problems dealing with electronics.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just is one of those things.
who was it who said the other day they'd walk past the fire alarm in their school and
I
it would
think
go
it
off.
was Juno that it would go off in the dorm. It was in the dorm, I believe. Hey, Sharon Sight, lovely to have you here. Any more about discernment before I change the slide?
relativity. Was it relativity? Is
Yeah, well, and
Well,
that's
we're going to
oh,
polarity.
okay.
okay. Nothing in life has any meaning except the meaning we give it. Was that relativity, or are we on polarity?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I just put on polarity now.
Okay, but yeah, discernment really key to know yourself. Again, going back to that first law, knowing that you are the divine spark of the creator of
Everything.
all that is. Yeah, everything is. So
Yes.
treat each other the way you'd want to be treated is how I kind of look at that one too.
Now, this one is about duality, it seems to me. So is this only applicable for the third dimension?
I don't know. Let me read
Oh
it.
no.
Law of polarity. This law
Good
says
question.
that everything in life has an opposite: good and evil, love and fear, warmth and cold.
Hmm.
Since all points on a continuum of emotion are necessary to provide a full experience of life, we can accept that negative emotion has its purpose. How would you know the feeling of joy if you never felt sadness? The goal is to accept the emotion and instead of focusing on resisting it, accept it and focus on how it can help you moving forward. That is a huge one, that last one.
Mhm.
That's actually why we're here on Earth,
Mhm.
Yes.
to learn.
And to feel the polarity, to
Mhm.
experience the polarities of all of them.
And
And
come
I
out
do
of
believe
it.
we've all been everything to everybody. We've all been experienced everything, good and
Yeah.
bad.
And
Mother,
come out of
daughter,
it
daughter,
as our highest self.
Yes. Because
Mhm.
that's the only experience is the way you grow.
exactly.
Right.
And we
So
have to feel. This is another thing people don't, a lot of people don't want to do. They don't want to look at their emotions or feel their emotions or acknowledge
No.
that someone else is feeling something. And that kind of stops this law in its tracks
Yeah.
because if you can't think, believe, drop into your heart, feel it, excite you in your heart, and then feel it all throughout your body. If
Yeah.
you prevent yourself from feeling that good feeling, you're not going to get those uh, it to materialize the way you would like to.
That's
was
right.
duality without any absolutes.
Mm,
It brings us back to the magnet.
right.
The two south poles will repel each other till one flips around, then they connect, and now we have a steady stream of energy. Where does the north and south? Where does the north end and the south begin, or vice versa?
Right.
It's just a steady flow. So it gets into that lukewarm territory, and then it turns to the other direction, right?
Hmm. And this one was mastery of the law of polarity requires learning how to maintain balance, focus, and detachment from the distractions of the material world.
Ooh,
So,
that's good.
yeah, it's being that higher spiritual, I say we're kind of bringing in our higher selves. Something's going on, because I know I didn't think like this, say 20 years ago, right?
Oh, I didn't
Didn't
No.
either.
even, didn't even occur to me, right? I knew something was up. I knew that people were psychic, things I could know some things and not know other things, but this one really hits you hard, because if you can learn how to maintain balance, focus, and detachment from the distractions of the material world, the news, all the stuff that's going to be coming up, it's been going on. Been going on forever. But this
Yeah.
next couple months, especially this end of July, and Diana are going to talk about this on the new moon tomorrow, it's really going to trigger a lot of things in the world.
Interesting.
We're coming into it again, and we're going to have to, so we can go in and we can focus on, oh God, so and so, this is going on, and this is this and this, and it is tragic, but we're not going to change it by being the same energy as it is offering
That
us.
is such a key, Valerie. You're not
Yep.
going to change it by having a horrendous outlook on it. You're not changing anything about what happened. Yes, that happened. Move on.
Change it from the inside out.
You have to change it from the inside out. You can't change it any other way.
You
And
have-
all the stuff that's going on in the world, there's a reason for it.
Mhm.
And we're the ones that are trying to elevate to get away from all the nonsense that's going on. But it's that kind of energy that is making these changes happen that sound horrible, but in reality, most of them are really good.
Yeah.
we
They
have
really
to act as observers.
Yes. Observe.
Because
Exactly.
right in every negative, in everything that's negative, there is something that is positive that takes us back to the transmutation.
Yes.
Look for that positive. Think about the snake worshipers and the fact that they allow the poisonous snake to bite them for a reason, because they learn how to transmute that poison and use it for the medication that it is. There's tree frogs in South America that you cannot touch. And little
We have them
tiny,
in Florida.
so cute, because it's an antibiotic. They've learned that the plasma, the protective plasma that surrounds the frog's body is an antibiotic, and they use it in manufacturing that to make
Be
people
darned.
healthy.
Mhm.
Hi, baby.
And so it's unfortunate because it's a double-edged sword here. Now they're raising them to slaughter them for antibiotic use, when the shaman would go in and rip off the tree bark and make you hydrocortisone,
Right.
make you tonic water, because that's exactly what well, now I can't say it, and I took it for 30 years. Hydrochlorozone, that stuff is an anti-inflammatory, but the shaman would make it for you, and it tastes terrible. And have you ever had a gin and tonic? If if you put a lime in, it tastes even better.
Mhm.
But
But that,
I found a really good gin and tonic. What's the name of that company that we like that has good tonic water? Fever Tree?
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't know.
yeah.
I could never drink tonic water till I found Fever Tree.
really?
So you can just drink tonic water and get the same
So delicious.
benefits of taking quinine.
Yeah.
I used to drink it for my restless leg, because quinine's good for restless leg.
Mm.
A lot
And
of things.
see,
It's an autoimmune. It calms down the autoimmune system so that it doesn't trigger extra pain. And because I have systemic lupus, I took quinine for 30 years.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
Now, doesn't quinine have it could be very bad or toxic to you if not used correctly? So
It-
this is kind of
I
like
don't
what
know.
we're saying. I don't know if that's true. And is that
I
quinine?
don't know the ins and
It
outs of
has-
quinine.
It has side effects, I can tell you that, because one of the things it can cause is like a
Well-
bullseye blindness, and where you get blind in the middle of your vision. Your peripheral may still be all right, or it narrows the peripheral as well.
Hmm.
Well,
And so all you see is that bullseye. So there are side effects, but in the doses, that's where your rheumatologist is supposed to help you with this,
Mhm.
but
Well,
it's not a cure for COVID,
okay,
as
so
someone
this is
once
what
tried
I'm
to say.
I'm trying to get through is where we are in the polarity, right? And it's to keep your distractions of the material world, right? So going back to like the news or anything that's toxic, let's say COVID, I don't care. Whatever's gone on in the last few years that has completely divided us as humanity, we have
Yeah.
to be able to see the good in even the worst of it. There's
Yes,
something good
absolutely.
going to come out of that.
Beautiful.
And that's the cool part, right? This is the cool part of polarity. And if we could just look at things like, okay, it looks pretty bad, but maybe there's a silver lining. There's something good instead of letting it take us
Okay.
emotionally down into a hole that we
Excuse us for
can't.
1 minute. She's going to
Sure.
have to take puppy out.
Did a baby.
She'll be back.
She's a little feisty baby.
Well, when she's like that, she needs to go potty, so she knows what
Aw.
to do. So that's all right.
When was her birthday? I like knowing.
Puppy's birthday.
I don't remember. It's 4 months ago.
She's 4 months old. She doesn't remember the date. She said, "That's all right." Cherie says she'll hold the baby. I love those baby squeaks. I know, right?
I wonder if she was the equinox baby.
I don't know. I don't know when she was
I think
born.
she was, if I remember correctly. But anyway,
Anyway.
I love that, especially now since the equinox, how things have these doors are opening. These energies are such higher vibration that if we this is where we're at, right? We're the front line, the love workers, light workers, energy workers. And if
Right.
we can remember these small little tips will get us through the rest of this stretch. We don't know how long it's going to be, but we can feel
I
where
really think that things are going to change a lot by 2025. I just think
do.
we need to get through 2023 and 2024,
Yeah.
and then we're going to see some light.
Yes.
I don't know if it's after the election or what, but I just think it's 2025 is going to be totally different. I
Mhm.
think.
Yep.
Pluto will stabilize
Yeah.
at the end of 2024
Right.
in Aquarius. And when that
Oh,
happens,
good.
yes. And
That
he's
makes
only
sense.
when he goes retrograde in 2024, it's like from September till November. It's only going to be a little 2 month stretch. It's not
Right.
going to be like this one. So he's just going to be dipping his toe in that, and then going right back into Aquarius. So it's
Mhm.
we'll notice it then. We'll
Well,
notice it then. Even though he's retrograde, I think we'll
Right.
begin to feel the collective
well, that's
positive.
actually a good point. With Pluto retrograded in Capricorn right now, is showing us the polarity. It
Yes,
is
it
really
is.
showing us those underbelly of things, right? And when it goes in back into Aquarius, you'll see how, oh my God, there was a silver lining here, there was a silver lining there,
Yes, that's
and that's how we have to remember to go through our everyday life with that.
yes.
Like my car's in the shop. Now I could be all
I
blah
can't
blah
believe you
blah about
still
it,
don't
like
have
so
that
many.
car.
I
Yeah,
know.
but it's a blessing in disguise because oh my gosh, I have gotten so much accomplished just because I don't put the
You
dogs in the
can't go
car.
anywhere.
Yeah, and it's great because I would have done it anyway, but it would have taken me longer because I would have been tired from taking a 3 mile walk first thing in the morning with the dogs. So it's been a trade-off and it's been wonderful because I can't just go spend money foolishly or thoughtlessly. And
I don't know. There's always Amazon.
I
even
know.
though they felt bad and now they've given me a gorgeous loaner.
I love
It's
that you
too
won't
pretty.
drive.
I don't want to drive it. It's so pretty. It's like, nope, you can't get attached. You can't afford it. It's not yours. And what if something happens to it? Your insurance is going to be involved, whether it's your fault or not. So no.
That's negative thinking. You should stop that. And you
Right?
need to go drive that car. You
Yeah,
need to go
Well,
drive that car. There's nothing going to happen to you or the
that's
car.
true, Diana.
yeah, the problem is headed towards Detroit area for something that I do on Saturdays, and that was just too big a chance. You're right. I shouldn't have talked negatively like that to myself. You're absolutely right.
And see
Case
how,
in point. See how
yeah,
easy it is to
it
slip
is.
into it.
It
Yeah,
is. It's so easy.
it's so easy to limit ourselves. I do it. I
We
do.
all do it.
Thank
But
you, Karen.
So the positive spin would be for me to say, my preference is to stay here and get this stuff accomplished.
There you
Which
go.
it really was. It's like,
And it
oh, now
worked.
you got a perfect excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Look at that baby. No.
She's such a good girl.
Mhm.
But you see, I had to explain that all to 3D people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I had to give them the reasons that they understood.
Yes.
And that
true, too.
happens a lot too.
Absolutely, it does.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
And,
we're going to go to perpetual motion because
ooh,
we're already over an hour, kids, and I don't care. I mean, it's fine,
Oh,
but we do want to finish. The law of perpetual motion. This law refers to the fact that everything has patterns, rhythms, cycles, and stages of development, and nothing lasts forever.
mhm.
It teaches us to see the good in every cycle, as well as acknowledge and fully experience every high and low, as they are all parts of the ever-changing cycle of life. Energy is always in motion, and these motions create cycles and patterns. Each phase has a different purpose and function, but together they are vital to the full picture. If we can learn to go with the flow rather than resist it, we will be much happier. Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Yes. And that's not easy either, because everything is moving and we slow it down, right? For each of us has a certain vibration, right? And we
Mhm.
slow our vibration down to do the things that or do them at the rate of speed we do them.
Right.
So say somebody comes up to you just out of nowhere, like in the next second, and says, I need you to do this, this, and this. And you're like, wait a minute. You really, like, if you're at work, you don't really have time to think about that. But is it something that's important for you to do right now? Or is it going to be detrimental for you? So we're kind of at the mercy of things around us, too.
Our surroundings. We are in absolutely. I agree with that.
and it takes us right back to vibration, frequency, language, color, speaking.
So
Everything matters.
everything is interrelated.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You've had enough, haven't you?
Yeah.
He's had enough.
She said, I'm done, Mom.
She's been a really good girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has.
Okay.
My guy's outside barking because he heard her, but he doesn't know where I am.
Oh.
And so he thinks it was a dog out there.
So we only actually have 2 more to go.
Okay.
Do you think you can handle it? I don't know if
Oh,
my
yeah.
thumb can. Okay. Is that it on this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think because look at how many have washed right into the next, and now
They
that
do.
we're
They just flow right into the next one. The law of gender. This law is about the balance of divine feminine and divine masculine energies found in everything. Masculine energy is action oriented. It represents determination, the power of will, and the conscious mind. The feminine energy is a symbol of giving and receiving and is quite passive. It represents our compassionate side. To bring stability to our lives, we must determine how these energies appear in our life, what role they play, and whether or not they are balanced. So true.
Mhm.
Ooh, we skipped one.
Wow. And this one was kind of, I
Good.
did a list of
The
these.
last one.
I did a list of these on my channel, and I didn't finish this one or the law of rhythm, which that was the last one that you had up. Okay.
Yeah.
And this one is,
Somebody's barking at something.
this is still important right now because we have Venus in Leo, we had Mars in Leo, where we're balancing the divine feminine and divine masculine in each of us, right? Now, Venus is going to go retrograde. Mars is already in Virgo, so he's moving along. But this Venus retrograde until September sometime, is really having us going because it's your heart. Venus rules your heart, what you naturally open up to.
Right.
So if we can, and this is like really changing for everybody on humanity, where we're bringing in the balance and the equilibrium of each, so we can function at that higher rate that we're all discussing here with these universal laws. We want to be at on spirit level, right? Higher level. So knowing what you love and what your heart naturally opens up to with that Venus there is so important, to be honest with yourself, to realize that you are that divine spark of the creator of all that is. You are here as a representation of that, to
Mhm.
follow your heart. And
Right. And when she's retrograde, she takes on her masculine divinity.
mm,
More, she becomes the planet of action. She is the highest form of Pele Athena. She is, she is the morning star. She's happier being the night star because we're out dancing. But when she's in that morning activity, she takes the role seriously. So
well, and it's
it'll be
that,
about that.
So more
yeah, and
things are going to come out.
that Mars that went already through Leo, that's now in Virgo. Now Virgo's discerning it. He wants to move because he was happy in Leo. He's happy in Virgo. He is trying to figure out how to get it all. How are we going to go forward? This is our new energetic makeup. Like, think of it like that, where we are more a balance, because when they say law of gender, like everything has a divine, even a pen has a masculine part and a feminine part, everything does. But when you are to bring stability into your lives, like it's saying here, we have to determine how these energies appear in our life. So be conscious
It's
of that.
right. It's equilibrium. It's stableness of interdependent elements.
Yes, yes.
The yin and yang.
Yes.
The
It's all
work
about
hard,
balance.
take a nap.
Mhm.
Use up all your bodily liquid. Drink some water. You'll be dehydrated if you don't. So it's also that in order to find that stability, there's replenishment in it.
Well, that makes sense.
The
Huh.
stableness of interdependent elements. That's what we wrote down for that one. Right.
Say that
And
again.
The stab
so,
the stableness of interdependent elements. If I could just read my writing.
Right.
So so saying that into um, the stableness of interdependent elements is balancing that on another level. We are energetically as leveling up more so than we've never been at this energetic frequency before. So it's something that we're always trying to get that stable inside of us, of our divine masculine, divine feminine, to work
Hmm.
together as a unit, right? But it's even, I think it's becoming even more, and it's not more important, it's more significant because, well, not even that. They're not helping me out in my head.
steady as it goes. Steady as
Yeah,
it goes.
because we have to have that stability. We're in these crazy ups
Yeah,
and
like the
downs.
last thing says, they
Yeah,
have to be balanced.
Yeah.
yes. Thank you, Heather. Heather
It's like
summed it
two
up.
people in a marriage. And so often young couples get into trouble, right? Because well, if you already know that about each other, why don't you just cover each other's bases? You've committed, you've signed a piece of paper, you wanted to do this, and that's fine and dandy. That's not a negative thing, but don't forget that it is give and take. Okay, you know that the towel's on the floor and it's going to be soaking wet, pick it up. Do it for the other
I
person because
just
the other
never got
person,
mine trained.
Well, that's
The dirty pants and underwear on the floor
oh
forever
yeah.
by his side of the bed.
Well, training them is a little bit different because they're not thinking the
No,
way we
no.
think anyway, you know. So if 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 each party can remember that, I committed to you because I love you. Here's that magic word, love again. I committed to this because I love you. I will cover your bases because I know you love me, and that means you're going to cover my bases.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what my
You
marriage
know,
was like.
yeah,
We covered each
everybody
other's
has
faces. I had a
right. And
very happy
everybody
marriage.
has their I'm really good at this, but I'm terrible at this. And I think our partners see that. And instead of
Absolutely.
taking
Balance
it
each other out.
right, don't crucify
Fighting.
each other over it. You know,
Yeah,
don't expect the person to change if you know that that's not their strong point. Help them out.
exactly. Okay,
That's
these last two, I think, I'm not sure if this is the last one or the, but this is summary of the 12 universal laws. The universe exists in perfect harmony and order by virtue of these laws. Life isn't just happening. The way life is happening for us is because of us.
mm,
Everything that exists in this universe comes down to energy, frequencies, and vibration, and that through these laws, everything exists in perfect harmony. Once we understand that there are laws at play in the universe that are always working with us, we can become conscious creators of our own reality.
True.
Nice little
That's
summary.
I love it.
steady flow.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess we have to plaster these 12 laws on our bathroom mirror so that we can look at them every morning and go, yeah, okay.
Or if we think of the Wheel of Fortune card in the tarot, or the world, because the world is always spinning, and
Right.
it's the driving, that energy is the driving force in the wheel, right? So if we think of those two cards and what the meaning for those two are, we basically have these laws covered, because that won't turn if it doesn't have that energy moving
Right.
it,
Right.
Mhm.
and how to regain the balance when it's tipped to the negative side.
And don't forget, we're going to have more shows on this,
Yeah.
and I have
This
a
is just a
playlist.
beginner.
This is just
This,
Tip of the iceberg.
yeah, the introduction, because this is such an important subject. We all need to go deeper, deeper, deeper all the
so
time.
we all
Each
need
one
to
you could go down a rabbit hole.
Yes.
Right.
yeah,
And
find
then-
out where Valerie's going to be and continue.
Oh, thank you.
Are you going to be on Jean's channel, Sensei Jean's channel, or are you doing it on yours?
Yeah, I think we're gonna, I'm streaming on both, so I'm not sure who's is actually gonna be
And
on that
who's the
first.
other person you're going with?
Diana and I are gonna do it based on the 12 astrological signs, and
That's going to be
That's going to be
fascinating.
fascinating. Yeah.
yeah,
Whose
pairs
channel is that on?
that's
No.
on my channel. So
Okay.
that
Diana doesn't have a channel that she
Right. No. And actually, I need to make a correction, because I do. But when I started this channel, I started it because I also illustrated children's books. And I had just left the school I was working at when the first book came out. And I wanted to read it to my kids because they were all buying it. So the only way for me to be able to reach them all was to do it on YouTube.
Beautiful.
But it's still out there, and love you, Sharon Sipe, but you don't have to post it, because all they're going to find is a storybook.
I want to
Right.
say happy birthday to Sharon Sipe. Wasn't
Oh,
it her
Happy birthday, Sharon Sipe.
wasn't
Happy
it her
birthday,
birthday
Sharon.
yesterday? I think so. We have the same birthday, if I'm
Oh, is that right?
Wow.
remember.
Oh, well, happy birthday, Sharon.
I
I
hope
won't
it's
sing
great.
it to you like I
Happy
did Valerie earlier. Promise.
Stolat.
But
Yeah. Oh, now I forgot the words. It's in Polish. Happy birthday.
Oh, right.
aw, I'm pretty sure. I hope I'm not crazy. I'm pretty sure it was Sharon's site. But
Well, that's
and
all right.
I have laws 1 through 9 on my channel now, where I just presented them by myself. But with us working together with the CRONE Zone, getting this information out, especially these next 2 years, are crucial to understand ourselves on that and how the energy around us is working, and but remembering at the same time that that energy is elevating in frequency and vibration. So we have to be able to adapt and roll with it and
Right.
come, you know. So, and Jean and I are going to do, I think, 2 laws on um,
Per show.
per show. Thank you.
Great.
And so that would be like 6 shows. But the more that you can get this information, because it seems so basic, and oh yeah, that's easy. It's really challenging at times. I still struggle, and sometimes, just going into my heart and saying I know I'm one with the universe just kind of calms it all down for me, and,
Yeah,
and, and has me
it
reboot.
does.
Yeah.
If we all had a bindi and put it right there, we would have the dot to begin
Uh-huh.
the
Our
homage.
dot.
We
Oh,
need a
wow, our
dot. Hey,
dot.
Caleb.
Hey,
And
Kayla,
so,
how are you?
and then
Well,
so
ladies, thank
Diana.
you for joining us today. This has been
It's been lots of
it's been
fun.
lots of fun and informative. This is just the kind of thing we do need to keep doing.
I love
Yes.
it.
So, our show on Tuesday is
Solar flares
oh,
and
consciousness and solar flares.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. Hello, consciousness and solar flares. And what time is your all
Oh.
show tomorrow?
Tomorrow we go on at 7 Eastern, so
7
that's
Eastern.
4 Pacific. Tonight I'm with Kate on Dream Detective Kate's channel. We're doing Love Notes. It's
The
the
love notes.
third.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
fun. I like
And
love notes.
I'm trying to think. Then the next show next Saturday I'm with 22nd. I'm with Deanne Shield Maiden on her, and we're just reading. We're gonna read
Lovely.
questions from everybody.
That
So
sounds
that'll
fun.
be cool.
Chat, thanks for being here. Thanks
Thank
for
you
all your
all.
comments. We
thank you.
appreciate it.
It really makes things more interesting.
It does. It makes
Thank
a
you
lot
so
more
much.
interesting when you all participate. We love that.
Yeah.
Diana, we love you. Valerie, we
Thank you
love
very
you. Thank you
much.
all so much
Thank
for
you.
being
Thank
here.
you.
You
Right?
guys go out and
Thank
shine
you.
your lights. We love
And
you.
take care of yourselves.
We'll see you next
Slow
time.
and steady.